All right, you guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to discuss the AFE Power cold air intake on this here 2018 Tundra, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a warning about the clamp arrangement situation that you might want to pay attention to if you have one of these setups. This could actually be a pretty long story if I really started at the beginning, but because of this clamp here and the problem that it has, I do believe that it's highly possible that I actually ingested a fair amount of dirt into my engine, which might have had follow-on problems, which I got sorted out later with the dealership. I can't be for sure if it stemmed from this very problem right here, but let's just say I didn't realize that this thing was coming. It's not that the nut comes loose, it's that the clamp comes off. And I had been going up and down this dirt road for many miles, and when I finally realized it, the entire thing had been separated and off, and it had been sucking in dirty air. So this is your warning, heads up. The AFE Power clamp situation is problematic. And so I can't really think of really much else to do about it. So here's what we're gonna do about it to fix it. Okay, so this here, new delivery, the rivet gun, a tool I've been needing to get for quite some time. Different sizes and kind of a cool rotating universal 360-degree rotation head. So that's an Amazon special. And we're gonna try to use these teeny little rivets. Okay, pretty simple. All you do is lift up on the front of this. Obviously, if you've already got this thing installed, you probably did it yourself. So if you didn't, anyways, lift this up. I've got the throttle body spacer right here. We're just taking off the air tube here. It's just been a continual process, actually. I have removed and re-tightened and rearranged and tightened up this clamp 7-8 times, and no matter what you do, it just refuses to stay tight, no matter how tight you make it either. So that's kind of a bit of a faulty design if you ask me, but there we go. The inner one doesn't seem to have as much of a problem with it. It is the outer one here, and it's not the air filter itself, it's the housing. And like I said, the bottom kicks off so much to the point where the whole filter, it ends up just doing like this, and then before you know it, the whole filter is disconnected inside, and just, I had the whole thing sitting inside the box, just drilling the holes out. One there, one here. Clamp back on in the proper orientation with the clamp bolt about approximately where you want it. We're just going to use the drill bit to make a mark on each side of that. And there we have it. Got my one mark there, and my next mark there. We're going to drill it. How bogus is that? Like, the whole thing, you remove your factory air filter, which is, a little bit unnerving to do. You install a performance air filter system, and then it's one job is to hold the clamp on. Just fails you left and right. And if you don't notice, and you just drive for the next year before you ever even pop your freaking hood, how much dirt have you sucked into your engine? That's pretty shitty, dude. I'm gonna pause and time out real quick here. I know it doesn't make much sense. I keep talking about ingesting a lot of dirt into the engine. Well, if it was only that outer clamp that failed, then sure, the filter is still functional, no matter whether or not it fell into the box and it's sucking dirt around that. But what happened early on was it wasn't only the big outer clamp. That's where the persistent problem had been, but also the smaller inner clamp had come loose as well. So the whole filter had fallen off of that intake tube, the cold tube, and was separated by, you know, several inches. So it was just sucking in all that dirt and dust going down that dirt road. So anyways. That should do. Hopefully that's enough meat in the plastic. I'm gonna deburr this hole. It's kind of weird. It hasn't been a problem on the top, only on the bottom. So I'm just gonna rivet the bottom, and hopefully that's all it needs. If it needs one on the top later, I'll come back and do it again and try to rivet this bad boy. Wish me luck. So far it isn't going great. So I think the solution would be, on the engineering end, is to just build this lip larger. Why does it have such a small lip? Apparently a larger one is necessary. Whether or not we even get much of a bite on it is we're about to find out. You need longer ones than these. You know, those come in longer lengths. So if this doesn't work and it doesn't hold, then that's what we'll do next. We'll order those and we'll just cut these little bastards off. Fantastic. I love having to re-engineer fucking things that I pay good money for. Well, so there you have it. 2 teeny little rivets. Keep the bottom end of that thing from popping out. You can see it didn't really give a nice mushroom at the bottom there, but it's hard to tell. Hopefully that's enough. Probably secure enough that it's going to do the job. So let's get this thing put back together. All right, it's back in with the filter. Now, the other thing that's kind of curious about it all is that I don't know why it would be causing so much dislodging. I mean, it's almost like, you know, you get a little bit of engine vibrations or a little bit of engine lift and flex whenever you're romping on it or something. But it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense why there would be that much kind of give and take and tug and pull on this thing, that enough to actually dislodge that and pull it out. I mean, when I first discovered the problem, these hadn't actually been very tight, but you would think that it was designed in such a space that there's not a pulling motion on it or a pushing motion on it, and there really isn't. I mean, this box can move pretty freely. It's not pushing or pulling, it kind of just floats there. But somehow or another, and I am 100% certain that there's no broken motor mounts or anything like that, so that is not a concern. Oh, great. Okay, you go on there first. Thank you. You go in here second. There we go. Thank you. Goes there, goes here, and the mass airflow sensor. Anyway, yeah, so I just can't imagine what could have been pulling and tugging and pushing, but I'm certain that the motor mounts are just fine. So it's kind of a strange deal, but if you run one of these AFE Power systems, you want to check that out. So no matter how tight I made these damn things, it still works itself loose. Within, you know, having it super tight, it works itself loose within about a couple, I don't know, within a week or so when I check it. But when it wasn't super cranked on there, to be loose the next day. Fully separated, so anyway, hopefully that fixes it. Because I've got enough other little issues to work on this damn Tundra. I don't need to be worrying about that anymore. And there you have it.